Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you guys here. As you can tell, today I want to share my thoughts on two fragrances from Zimaya that were kindly gifted to me by the brand for reviewing purposes. So I have here a fragrance called Hawaa Red and I also have a fragrance here called Awatif. So today I want to let you know how these two fragrances smell like, how they develop, how they perform, do I enjoy them, who I feel like would enjoy them. So let's just start. Now, from the Hawaa line, I've tried Hawaa Pink. I have a review for the fragrance in case you're interested, but today is about Hawaa Red. Now, I already have the dry down of these two fragrances, but I will spray them on a different tester strip to get the opening part as well. So I will add a note for the fragrance right here, and let's see how this fragrance opens up. Okay, so this opens up quite fruity, quite juicy and sparkling. And I smell a lot of cherries in the opening. Think sparkling, juicy burst of cherries with immediately this almost like a forest green accord in the background. So I'd say the opening is very fruity forward with a greenness in the background. But at the same time, it feels somehow light, it feels somehow airy. And I'm guessing that's from the musky accord they use. Slightly powdery, airy, musky facade that brings a lot of airiness throughout the composition. So this is not that thick, layered, robust, heavy, intense kind of fragrance. No. So mainly in the opening is the cherry with the forest green accord. I don't know why, to me it's almost like a little bit of a coniferous type of accord, but it's very soft in a way. It just acts as a facade to darken a little bit the fruity accord. But again, give it a few minutes and that sparkling juicy facade will fade away. And also slowly but surely, again, give another like 10-15 minutes and the cherry does fade away. And instead of the cherry, I start to pick up something like tangy. I don't know why my mind goes to blackcurrant with that beautiful forest green type of accord and a woody accord. And the woody accord, basically, let me just say, this is more, I can't really say that it's a linear fragrance because it does develop, but it has more of a simplistic development. So the main changes I'm noticing, like I've mentioned, the cherry facade fades away, that juicy sparkling quality also fades away. And the fruity accord, from feeling quite sweet and juicy in the opening, it starts to feel a little bit more sweet and sour. You know, from something reminiscent to blackcurrant to me. That forest green facade still holds throughout the development of the fragrance and is the woody accord that starts to shine much more. But it never loses this airy facade throughout. To me, especially once this fragrance gets from the heart till the dry down, the woody accord paired with the green accord, the like forest green type of accord, kind of reminds me of the woody accord you have in Mersal with Love, one of the most decadent and loud and bold fragrances I've tried from Afnan, I think. So it was not from Zimaya, it was from Afnan. But it kind of has something reminiscent to that in a way. The woody accord feels rich. So I'd say this is quite elegant, but again, in a very casual manner. Like I've mentioned, dress it up, dress it down. I don't know, you're going to work, you're going to the gym, you're running some errands, you're going to school. This is the vibe it gives me, you know? So I'd say this is more of a day-to-day casual kind of fragrance, that no-brainer type of fragrance. Something I want to highlight, keep in mind the fruity accord, even though it's very sweet and juicy and sparkling in the opening, but as it develops, I'd say it's less sweet, it's more sweet and sour, sweet and tangy. That's the vibe I pick up. Now let me get a little bit of the dry down. Yeah, even when I'm smelling the dry down, definitely the woody accord came out much more, you guys. And I'm telling you, I don't know if they've listed an oak moss accord or something, but the woody accord paired with this something slightly oak mossy, paired with this light forest green type of accord, though the greenness is not, don't think it's overbearing, overwhelming, it's just a facet, but it makes me think for some reason of the woody accord in Mersal with Love. So that's how it smells. Now, performance-wise, I'd say it has an average performance. On my skin, it lasts anywhere from 4.5 to 5 hours. I feel like it's maximum. Again, it's a fairly freshly opened bottle. I think I've tested it for the first time like 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly. So yeah, but I think in general, this will give you more of an average performance. So anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours if you're lucky, and fragrances last a very long time on your skin, but don't expect this to be a beast mode. To me, this again fits that day-to-day, grab and go, dress it up, dress it down, casual kind of fragrance. And if you love a fruity accord, if you love something woody and green, if you love something musky and airy, I'd say this is that kind of fragrance. Those are my thoughts on Hawaa Red from Zimaya. Now let's move on to the next fragrance. Let's move on to Awatif. because this fragrance truly took me by surprise, you guys. So I didn't know what to expect when I smelled this fragrance. First things first, if I haven't added by now, most likely I will add a close-up clip with the bottle. The bottle is so beautiful, you guys. I love black and gold details put together. You have this beautiful dainty, I don't know how to call it, but it's almost like, not really a necklace for the fragrance, but for lack of a better word, I'll call it a necklace, you know, with the logo and everything. So yeah, the bottle is so beautiful and it feels heavy at the same time. I will spray this fragrance, but like I've mentioned, I already have the dry down of this fragrance on a different test strip. Now this, you guys, to me this smells like a unique creation. And this, not only that it smells like a unique creation, but it has something different about it, like scent-wise, quality-wise. I can really sense something different here in this fragrance. So this opens up. Again, I will add the notes, but I will tell you how it smells like to me, not necessarily based on the notes, because I do think I experienced this fragrance in a pretty different manner based on how I would have expected to experience this fragrance based on the note breakdown. So the opening, silky. The texture of this fragrance in the opening, in the heart, in the dry down, it feels silky smooth. It's very, I don't even know, but this is the kind of blend you'd find, I don't know why, niche brands. This is the vibe it gives me, texture-wise, by how smooth and silky it feels. So in the opening, I pick up something like a yellow tropical fruity accord. For some reason, I pick up like a pineapple blossom. So it's not a very juicy sugared almost of a pineapple. It's more like a, not really aquatic, but it's more of a gentle, sweet, but more like a pineapple blossom to me. With apple blossom, the opening for some reason reminds me of the pineapple blossom and the apple blossom you have in Madawi from Arabian Oud, but here it's in a different interpretation. But I'd say take those two accords from Arabian Oud, add a soft, silky pink rose that feels a little bit creamy, but the rose doesn't steal the show in a way. The rose is not the spotlight. To me, the spotlight is this fruity accord, this beautiful silky creamy texture that it has. A touch of mandarin again in the opening. It does add a sweet citrus touch. And this beautiful ylang ylang, you guys. I haven't explored a lot of fragrances made around ylang ylang. Or let's just say, even though they have listed an ylang ylang accord, my nose didn't really pick it up. I've tried a handful of fragrances, so I've tested Pearl Oud from Ahmed El Maghrib, and in that fragrance the ylang ylang comes across like a creamy banana type of accord. And I've tested also Bora Bora from Giardini di Toscana, and in that fragrance the ylang ylang comes across more like your creamy tropical floral type of accord. Now I'd say here in this fragrance, I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. So how that plays into the composition to my nose, again, give it, I don't know, like 10 minutes in. The rose kind of steps in the back a little bit. I still pick up that beautiful pineapple blossom that adds sweetness and warmth and this yellow tropical facet to the fragrance with something like an apple blossom, apple-like accord that almost adds this soft, sweet and crisp facet to the fragrance. But the ylang ylang definitely starts to shine, and to me the ylang ylang comes across as creamy. It feels a little bit tropical and floral, but also creamy, almost like a little bit creamy banana-like in a way, but not as creamy banana-like as other ylang ylang accords I've tried in a perfume. The vanilla starts to shine again. The vanilla feels very silky and smooth and creamy. And I start to pick up patchouli. So I'd say the fragrance, how it evolves pretty much to my nose. You lose the mandarin orange facet or clementine's orange. Is that sweet orangey smell, you know? You're still left up until the heart part with the focus on the pineapple blossom, but slowly but surely the rose moves in the background, and it's the ylang ylang with that silky vanilla that starts to shine, and the beautiful green patchouli that grounds a little bit the composition. But the patchouli, again, if you think of the patchouli you have in Madawi from Arabian Oud, or yeah, let's just say Madawi from Arabian Oud, is that exact patchouli. So it's not a patchouli that feels overly minty, overly herbal, overly aromatic. It feels so suave and gentle, but it does add the greenness, but in a way a greenness that kind of balances out the creaminess without cutting from the creaminess. One thing that truly stood out to me when it comes to this fragrance is how silky and creamy the texture feels. Silky and creamy from the ylang ylang, silky and creamy from the vanilla. So it is sweet, but it's a very elevated, chic kind of sweetness. To me, I think because the sweetness is dosed enough to give this sensuality, let's say, but not too much to make it go into the juvenile, youthful direction. I think this is what makes it feel so sophisticated. Yeah, and this truly shines. The ylang truly shines, you guys. Again, it feels like a creamy floral, but it's not as loud, the floral, the tropical floral accord, as it is in fragrances, for instance, like Bora Bora. I feel like in Bora Bora, it's much more heady, it's much more decadent, it's much more in your face. Here, it's so silky and smooth and suave and gentle and delicate. And not to say that this is a soft fragrance, because this is not. I think this has the potential to be someone's day-to-day signature fragrance. It's elegant, it's feminine, it's womanly, it's sophisticated. I haven't smelled something like this. And even though I've mentioned it does have facets that somehow kind of make me think of Madawi, but this doesn't smell like Madawi from Arabian Oud. So don't buy this fragrance looking for something similar to Madawi. I'm just telling you, those specific accords kind of go into the Madawi direction without the overall scent profile smelling like Madawi. To me, what sets this fragrance apart is the ylang and how creamy the ylang feels, and also how silky and creamy the vanilla feels. I could have bet that this has a sandalwood listed. I don't remember if it does, but I don't think it does. But overall, it just feels creamy, you guys, creamy, and this fragrance feels like it envelops you into this layer of something silky and creamy. But it's interesting because I have moments when I smell this fragrance and I pick up the rose accord much more, but it never dominates the fragrance. To me, it's the ylang that shines the most. The rose almost adds this soft pink facet to the fragrance, but it's so delicate in the background that sometimes I smell it, sometimes I don't smell it. Yeah, beautiful job they did with this fragrance. So yeah, now let me touch on performance. The performance on this fragrance, if I remember correctly, if I haven't, I will add here on the screen. I think I was able to smell it for around 6 to 6.5 hours on my skin. I haven't done yet a full wear test to be able to tell you how further it projects, the kind of trail it leaves, but by how this fragrance smells like, I'd say projection, maximum a medium projection. I don't think this is the kind of fragrance that, again, it's a beast mode. And when I mean beast mode, think Secret Mask, think Red Tobacco, think Arabian Stonka, think Instant Crush, think Maj from Ahmed El Maghribi. So I'd say that's my level when I'm talking about a beast mode fragrance. So of course, compared to those fragrances, this I'd say it's maximum medium projection. Those were my thoughts on these fragrances. If you've tried any of these two fragrances, I would love to hear your feedback on the fragrances. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Also, thank you to the team from Zimaya for sending me these fragrances. I will see you hopefully in my next video, guys. But until then, I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye.